This is a fun one. This Let me share this with you just because this headline cracked me up because it's about Sabrina Carpenter, who is a young singer. She is a Disney child star. I'm just pulling out all this stuff, but you could see from the headline, she filmed a music video in a church and the priest was punished. And it's like, what the hell happened there that everyone got upset about? And so here's the story behind what happened in this video. Sabrina Carpenter, if you don't know, and if you're older than 30, the answer is you don't know. She's a 24-year-old singer. She just put out a video on Halloween for her new song. It's called Feather. And anytime you're filming in like a public place or you want to rent out a private place, your people send a request to the church or wherever, and her people send a request to Our Lady of Mount Carmel-Annunciation Parish in Brooklyn, New York. And they said, we want to use the outside setting of your church for our video, maybe the inside, whatever they said. I don't know what they said. But the church priest, the guy running that church, said, yeah, he approved it. So they filmed the video. And when the video came out, what they realized is, wait a minute, there's some inappropriate stuff in here. Let me take you back to that New York Times article, just because this made me laugh. The church's pastor, Jamie Gigantiello, gave Miss Carpenter's team permission for the filming, but the diocese said he had not followed diocesan policy regarding the filming on church property, which includes a review of the scenes and the script. So apparently the church has to vet everything that happens inside the church, which is interesting because when all the abuse was happening inside the Catholic Church, I don't remember them caring what was happening inside the church. But when a pop star wants to make a music video, apparently they got to know everything that's happening there. So they make the video. And in response to the video, this bishop after all this happens, after they see the video, after they punish the priest, and we'll talk about that in a second, the bishop celebrated a massive reparation, which the diocese said restored the sanctity of the church and repaired the harm, which is just the most fancy way of saying they did this over the altar and their magic words made everything okay again because this young singer had defiled the place. It's just dumb. Also in this article, not long after the video was released on Halloween, the bishop relieved Monsignor Gigantiello of his administrative oversight. So the priest is still the priest. He wasn't fired from the priesthood, but he's basically fired from being able to approve music videos in the future, right? That's the punishment. I would love to show you clips of this video, mostly to show you that it's not that big of a deal. I don't want this clip to get demonetized later on though, so I'm not going to show you that. But I will tell you what the video is about is Sabrina Carpenter singing about breaking up with a bunch of guys. The lyrics in here say things like, I feel so much lighter, like a feather, with you out of my life. So the song is about breaking up with guys who are not putting any effort into a relationship. There's a scene in the video where a bunch of guys are basically wrestling. They're in a locker room of sorts or a gym. They're literally fighting each other over her. She gets bloodied up in the process, but then all the guys are dead. And then there's a dude in an elevator who sexually harasses her because he wants her. Guess what? He dies too. And then she's in the church, and I'll show you one picture of her in the church. This is her in her floofy dress inside the church in question. And you could see on either side of her, there's a coffin in a pastel color. There's actually two coffins on either side of her. And I think that represents the exes who have been destroyed. And she's free and dancing around them and all that. And obviously they decorated the altar, but whatever, that's what they do. They put it all back. None of that stuff is still there. They rented the space. They decorated it the way they needed to. Then they got out of there after they were done filming, right? All of the church stuff takes place in the final 45 seconds of the video. It ain't even that long. But as Carpenter is dancing around there, she's wearing a crucifix. She has these images around her of these coffins. it's stuff you wouldn't see at church. Hell, it's a song you would never play in church, right? But there's nothing anti-Catholic about it unless you just think that using that space in a way that is for entertainment or, not sacred. If you think that's like blasphemous, okay. I guess they're mad because she's trying to bring joy to people. I think they're mostly offended that their building was tarnished in reputation by someone popular, and they're not used to doing that. According to one statement from the Diocese of Brooklyn, the bishop was appalled at what was filmed at this church. Um, and the parish reportedly told the diocese that the production company failed to accurately represent the video content, which is really weird. Like, the priest that was punished actually posted an apology on Facebook where he said, yes, I agreed to let them film in September. And then he said, quote, he did a, quote, general search of the artists involved, Sabrina Carpenter, and it did not reveal anything questionable. So he's basically saying, I Googled her. It looked fine. I don't know how this could have happened. Except, like, what did you Google? If you Google her name and you see her older music videos, it's not like they're any different. She's a teen pop star. She's a former Disney princess pop star. You know what I mean? Like, what did you think her video was going to be about? Of course it's about guys. Of course it's about, like, fighting over guys. And what did you think she wanted to use the church for? To have a section of the music video where she's, like, praying? Where she's sitting in a mass? I have no idea what they thought she was going to do. Her video was exactly what I would have expected. And I've never seen any of her videos before. And I think they're also mad because Sabrina Carpenter has been openly supportive of LGBTQ people. I don't know how that didn't cross their mind or didn't cross their internet search. And even if the filming, they said it was supposed to take place outside near the church, not entirely inside, but the substance doesn't change because they filmed in both locations. I'm not sure what the priest thought she was going to do. I feel like this is a good time to point out that this Diocese of Brooklyn, by the way, they faced nearly 600 sexual abuse lawsuits over the past few years. These people, after New York opened up, they passed a law saying, hey, if you were a victim of child sexual abuse, and your statute of limitations has run out, we're going to open a window where you can file a lawsuit against your assailant. The burden of proof is still there. I know it's really hard to prove something that happened decades ago, but it's on you. You can file a lawsuit. When that happened, the Brooklyn Diocese faced nearly 600 child sex abuse lawsuits. That's the group we are talking about here. They're mad about Sabrina Carpenter making a music video in their place. Not about the sexual abuse, but about her filming her video there. All right. By the way, those 600 lawsuits named 230 clergy members. The biggest problem in that church isn't that Carpenter filmed a video there. It's everything else that happens when she's not there. Okay? One of the things I heard people comment online is, well, this never would have happened in a mosque. Sabrina Carpenter would never have filmed the music video in a mosque. And it's like, yeah, she probably wouldn't have. You know why it makes sense that she did it in a church? Not because it was anti-Catholic, but it's because Catholicism and the way a church looks is so familiar to so many Americans. Like, the iconography of the Catholic Church is famous enough that artists have been making references to it for centuries. If you put her in a mosque to do this, no one would know what they're looking at. Some Muslims, sure, but most people, not so much. Like, that's the price Catholics pay for being part of a religion with very distinct churches and massive reach and centuries of pillaging people's monies and land, right? The weird thing is, the reason the priest said he approved the project, he said this in his apology, is that this was an effort to further strengthen the bonds between the young creative artists who make up a large part of this community and the parish. He wanted to bridge the gap between those two sides. And the thing is, he could have done that. After this video came out on Halloween, you can just imagine a smarter priest would have said, all right, look, I saw that she did this in the church. It's not our thing. But you know what? If any of you want a tour of our church that you now know from this video, we'll give it to you. If you want to sit, you saw the music video. Now sit in for an actual mass, sit in for a service. It's free. Come. They could have made that into a tourist attraction to raise money for whatever it is they do, or just to draw young people into the church. I'm sure there's a lot of people who would have wanted to see that. They didn't. They just flipped out and started attacking her. And I don't say this often. They should have taken a page from the Mormon church, because when the Book of Mormon musical came out, which is not very friendly to the Mormon church, it makes a lot of fun of the Mormon church. In the playbill, the program that they handed out to people seeing the show, the actual Mormon church took out a full page ad saying basically, like, you saw the musical, now see the real thing. Here's our website. Go check it out for yourself. Which, dude, well played. That's how you should do it, right? I don't think anyone watching the Sabrina Carpenter video would come away with it with any new negative thoughts about the church. They would just say, oh, that looks neat. But the church apparently thinks that this is horrible news for all of them. So I don't know. I don't think it's a smart strategic move to just alienate the fans of a really popular young singer. Like, why would any company right now, not that these people are on the same level, but like, why would any company say, you know who we hate? You know who we want to alienate? All of Taylor Swift's fans. Like, of course, that would be a horrible idea for any company. Again, not the same level, but I don't get why this Catholic church that is desperate for new blood, that wants young people to come in, I don't know why they're trying to like trash Sabrina Carpenter and anyone who apparently likes her video. That just seems really dumb on their part.